the 25th anniversary of Final Fantasy IX coming soon, there were some really interesting announcements that have got the community abuzz for a potential remake. But what do you guys think? Is it just an April Fool's? Is it just a celebration of the anniversary? Or do you think that we'll be getting a Final Fantasy IX remake this year? Let's talk about it. Right, let's talk about it. So, for the 25th anniversary of Final Fantasy IX, the Final Fantasy Twitter page has put out a couple of announcements and announced a couple of exciting things that I think we should talk about. It's kind of got the Final Fantasy community a buzz right now. Everybody's talking about this potential Final Fantasy IX remake. So let's take a look at the kind of things that are being released and talked about, and I'll let you guys make up your own mind about whether or not we'll be getting the Final Fantasy IX remake later this year. So, for the 25th anniversary, here is your first look at brand new Final Fantasy IX merchandise to celebrate the upcoming 25th anniversary in July. Now, in Japan, the 25th anniversary for the release of Final Fantasy IX is July 7th. I believe it's closer to November for the rest of for us in the Western world, but the anniversary in Japan is going to be July 7th. Please stand by for more information on pre-orders. Now, we'll take a look at the merch in just a second, but tomorrow, as of recording, tomorrow is the Nintendo Direct, the Nintendo Switch Direct, and people are speculating, like, are we going to get an announcement for something for Final Fantasy there? I don't know. We're just going to have to wait and see. It'll be fun to see if anything does get announced, but it seems that they're dropping things now leading up to the anniversary for a reason, and it's either purely just to celebrate the anniversary. There's nothing else going on, nothing untoward. This was dropped on March 31st, so I don't believe this is an April Fool's, because we are recording on April Fool's Day, like right now, so happy April Fool's Day, everybody. But, or if this is the lead up to the anniversary where they're going to drop a Final Fantasy IX remake. Now, for those of you who don't know, Final Fantasy IX is the game that got me into console gaming. I remember the exact place, the exact time, maybe not the exact time, but I could tell you what the weather was the day that I was introduced to Final Fantasy IX. It was the first Final Fantasy I'd ever seen. I remember the exact part of the game where I was introduced. I came over to my friend's house. She was on disc 2 on the Outer Continent doing like the Eva tree and stuff like that. The music is ingrained in my memory. It was my introduction to Final Fantasy. It was my introduction to proper, like, huge RPGs, like Japanese RPGs, and it was my introduction to streaming, because when I decided I was going to be a Twitch streamer, the second game that I played on my shitty laptop, no cam, just a terrible mic headset, was Final Fantasy IX, and we had a great time. So this game has so much nostalgia and is so near and dear to my heart that if they did remake it, I would drop everything to play this game. Now, what I've heard on the grapevine is that if they do remake 9, they're not going to do what they did with 7, where they took 7, broke it up into episodic games, so you had to buy like each installment separately, and then they altered the story of the game and made it a remake of the story. I've heard that that's not what we're to expect from the Final Fantasy IX remake. If it does get made, we are to expect nothing but better graphics in the exact same game, maybe with voice acting rather than it all being unvoiced. Same music, probably just like digitally remastered or re-recorded, as we'll see in just a second. But it's gonna be so good. The other thing that people are speculating is that with the recent expansion for Final Fantasy XIV, Dawn Trail had an awful lot of Final Fantasy IX references in it. I haven't finished Dawn Trail yet, and if you are watching on YouTube and you want to see my Dawn Trail playthrough, it will come up at the end of this the video. But because of the Final Fantasy IX just seems to be getting hyped up right now, and we don't know, we're not 100% sure if it's just because the anniversary is coming up, or if it's to get us hyped up for a potential remake in July. But the other thing that was released along with this announcement was an entire Japanese website dedicated to the 25th anniversary of Final Fantasy IX, and we'll take a look at that right now. I've translated it into English for you via Google. Thank you very much, Google. And there's some interesting things on the website. Now, apart from the new art, which could be for the cover of the game, but apart from the cover of the art, the cover of the art, apart from the art, there's a bunch of other things as well. Now, this is where I wish I still lived in Japan. Because as you can see, I'm a glasses wearer, and I know Zoff. There was a Zoff very close to where I used to live in Japan, and had I still been in Japan for this release, I would absolutely have gone to upgrade my glasses and gotten Final Fantasy IX 25th anniversary frames for my glasses. But alas, I am not there anymore. But there's a couple of other things. So this is really interesting. The cover art for the cover art that we just saw was for a vinyl, and the vinyl is going to have a bunch of Final Fantasy IX music on it. It's called Timeless Tales, but a lot of it has been newly recorded, like a newly recorded version of Melodies of Life, for example. So I wonder, is it just newly recorded for the anniversary, or is it newly recorded for the remake? We're going to have to wait and see. The other thing that's here that's really cute is this little book. They're bringing out a picture book that's the story, the beginning story, or like the origin story of Vivi and his granddad. It's called Vivi to Oji-chan to something Tachi no Hi. And I don't know what that kanji is. And it's about Vivi meeting his granddad and the lead up to how Vivi joined everything in like Final Fantasy IX. It's like a prequel to Final Fantasy IX, but from Vivi's perspective, which is really cute and really lovely, and written by Kazuhiko Aoki, illustrated by Toshiyuki Itahana. So people who are like big names, and I'm just really interested into like, why is it just for the anniversary, or are they trying to get people back, like new people, into the franchise? Like here's Vivi's origin story, now you can go and play the game. Like, is it all hype for a remake that could be coming later this year? The other thing that people are talking about is the figurines that have been released, which are beautiful, by the way. Sorely tempted to save up some moolah that I'm trying to save up for a PC. But this is the figurine for Zidane, and I heard a couple of people in the community speculating if these are going to be what the figures of the characters look like if we do get a remake. I actually have a figurine very similar to this, even with the Mage Mashers. This is the Dissidia Zidane figurine that I have with, as you can see, the Mage Mashers, which is a set of my favorite daggers in Final Fantasy IX, and they're here as well. These are the Mage Mashers right here. And then we also have Garnet, who looks absolutely wonderful. The detailing on her little necklace and everything is beautiful. So people are wondering, are these being released just for the anniversary? Is it hype for the remake? Are the characters going to look like this if a remake does come out? It's really interesting for the timing of everything. It's really interesting. But there's also Garnet's necklace, which is beautiful. It's tiny though, but it's stunning. The detailing on that is beautiful. And then there's plushies, and I don't know, those were noises that only dogs could hear. But look at him. So there's Zidane, there's Vivi, there's Garnet in her white mage hood, there's Steiner, there's Eiko, there's Quina, and is he called Salamander Coral in Japan? That's so funny. That's Amaranth. Freya, she's called Flyer in Japanese. That's so funny. Beatrix, I know 50 people who need this Beatrix plushie, but there's my man, there's Kuja. Shoulda, woulda, Kuja. Very tempted. I kind of need the Kuja, the Zidane, and the Vivi. I'm not gonna lie, the Vivi one is just too perfect, but look at that stupid wee face. But again, what do you guys think? Is it just for the anniversary, or do you think that maybe a remake is coming out and they're giving us some hype for it? There's an awful lot of Final Fantasy stuff going on. There's also, if I scroll all the way down to the bottom, there's also like cards and stuff that are being brought out, like full art premium card sets, star tier, themed around Final Fantasy IX, and they're absolutely beautiful. I mean, there's the Final Fantasy VII ones as well, but it's Kuja on the promo. Like, hello? So, the necklace costs £188. Yeah, it's probably, is it silver? Is it like sterling silver? It's probably why it's so expensive. I wonder if the gemstone in it as well is real and it's not just like made out of plastic or whatever. But it is very interesting. It is very, very interesting. So there's a little blurb down the bottom as well. Released in 2000, this is the 9th installment of the Final Fantasy series, which has sold over 8.9 million copies worldwide. The story unfolds in a world reminiscent of a picture book depicting a journey to find a place to return to someday. In this work, which was created with the theme of returning to the roots, the thief Zidane, Princess Garnet and Black Mage Vivi meet, each with their own thoughts, and are drawn into an epic adventure surrounding the crystals. It's going to be fantastic. Honestly, I hope we do get a Final Fantasy IX remake. I will drop everything to play it. This is one of my favourite Final Fantasies, one of the best music scores in a game ever, some of the best characters. You guys are going to absolutely love it. If you've never played Final Fantasy IX before, highly recommend it, especially if it's going to get remade and remastered and stuff. It's going to be fantastic. I hope that they don't split it up like what they did with Final Fantasy VII. I don't like that it's episodic, and I really hope they don't touch the story. The story is perfect. It doesn't need anything done to it. I hope they don't touch the music. The music is perfect. It doesn't need anything done to it. I kind of hope that it's voiced, so then I don't have to like voice all the characters when I stream it. That'll be interesting. It'll be really fun to see all of the characters with voices. They've been given voices in other games like Kingdom Hearts where they're featured, and they've got voices in there. I'm pretty sure they've all got voices in Dissidia and stuff like that as well, so it's not going to be the first time that we've heard them voiced, but it would be really cool to have them in this game, in this context, and in this remake voiced. So that's my thoughts on it so far. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts about it, just to see if you guys think that it is going to be a remake, if it is just for the anniversary, if we're getting our hopes up too high too soon. We're going to have to see what happens at the Nintendo Direct tomorrow and later on in the year when the anniversary starts coming up. We've got until July. So if we start seeing a lot more promotion and stuff for Final Fantasy IX popping up in places as July gets closer, I think it's going to be time to get excited. But for now, if you've been watching on YouTube, thank you very much for watching. Remember to like, comment and subscribe for more, and tell me in the comments, what do you think? Is it going to be a remake or is it just an anniversary? Let me know in the comments down below. Tell me what are your feelings on a Final Fantasy IX remake. Tell me who your favourite character is from Final Fantasy IX. Tell me absolutely everything. I'd love to hear from you. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. See you next time, guys. Bye.